All right, welcome back to the Golf Podcast and happy Masters Week.
That's right.
Always excited about it, but I'll be honest with you. This year, I'm a little feeling conflicted. This might be the most controversial Masters that at least I can remember ever witnessing.
No doubt. Ratings are going to be through the roof.
I think, that is going to lead to ratings that are through the roof. But I don't know. I personally feel a little bit conflicted about it. The Masters, I feel like, is that, one time a year where it's just like, just sit back and it's just pure and you just enjoy it. But I don't know. A lot of you may enjoy like some of the back and forth that's happening this year. Large part of it, no doubt, is with Liv, but that's not the only thing. There's even some Masters legends of their own who've kind of shaken things up a little bit. So we're going to dive into that. And of course, that's, when I say that, that's my personal opinion. We love hearing you guys' opinions. So make sure you drop them in the comments and let's keep the conversation going throughout the week. But let's first, talk about the elephant in the room and why there is so much controversy and why there are so many eyeballs, going to be heading into Augusta this year is with Liv. I mean, all four majors have now committed to saying that they're going to invite Liv players who qualify.
Right.
Don't forget that. Keep that who qualify.
Exactly. That's a key word there.
Because I was just thinking about this, and kind of like wondering to myself what scenarios we might see over the next couple of years. Think about it like this and let this one sink in. Brooks Koepka, a guy who has famously said he only practices for majors, really only cares about majors. This may be his second to last Masters.
Right. Falling out of the rankings, unless he wins.
Right. But talk about playing with your back against the wall. Koepka either has to win a major this year or even, because the Masters is the first major of the year. So Koepka has to win a major this year if he wants to play in the Masters beyond 2024. Right. Or he'd have to win the 2024 Masters.
Right.
And it's simple. Here's how that works. To be invited, you've got to be in the top 50 official world golf rankings. Well, Koepka has rapidly dropped out of those rankings, along with a lot of the other guys like Bryson DeChambeau. Mixture in Koepka's case of some injury and also leaving the PGA Tour. Remember, Liv does not have official world golf rankings, so they're just falling behind with every week.
Right.
But what Koepka's playing on, he won the 2019 PGA Championship. That grants him a 5-year exemption into the Masters. Now, each major has its own exemptions and its own rules, so there might be some majors that ebb and flow on certain things. But 5-year exemption, count out the years, this is his 4th year. So that means next year is his last year, and he would no longer be qualified to receive an invite to the Masters. That's a kind of, I would never have believed that if you came at me with that a year ago.
Yeah, you're right. Especially thinking of Brooks, a guy who just wins and feasts on majors. Then he went down the injury hole, which pushed him even further out of the rankings.
Right.
And then he went to Liv and where he wasn't getting qualified for points. So you're right. It could be 2 more for Brooks unless he wins. And we were talking about it before. If he misses the cut this week, and he misses the cut next year, it could be only 4 more rounds at Augusta.
Right. Yeah. It's wild to think about, especially because now we just saw him win last week on Liv. I think he's won 2 out of whatever his 5 events or something like that. So you can definitely argue that he's back in healthy playing form. He's winning.
Yeah.
That bodes well for him going into
good
the
confidence
Masters.
booster, sure.
But of course, the cynics will say, and it's hard to debate, a lot of them will say, well, listen, they're not playing 4 rounds. They're playing not as a stiff of a competition. So is he really in form? Again, all those storylines will certainly be answered once they tee it up at Augusta. But there's going to be a lot of guys there who are playing with a whole lot of hunger.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Guys are going to
another one on my mind is Bryson DeChambeau. Who he wants to prove that he can still win. He also is still chewing on his words when he called Augusta National, what do you call it, a par 68? 67 or something like that, and has not played well there since.
Who do you think has the most to prove? Phil?
No, I don't think Phil has the most to prove because Phil would, at his age, would be such an outlier to win. I think the guys who have the most to prove are the guys like Koepka, DJ, Bryson DeChambeau, and Cam Smith, who want to prove that they haven't lost their form by jumping over to live.
Yeah.
I think those are the big ones right there.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, if a live guy, now we were talking the field wise, I think it was 18 players at 88. So
it's a lot.
Nearly 25% of the field. 22 would be 25% of the field. So 25% of the field roughly is live.
But I think that's part of why, like, you had like Augusta not draw a line in the sand and say, we're not inviting them.
Right.
Right. Because they didn't want the heat that would come with that. But I think what they're also realizing is that if they don't want these guys there, and we're going to talk about the television coverage speculation in a minute, because remember, this is speculation. There's no one who said they don't want them there.
Right.
But if we're reading between the lines and they don't want them there, the problem might sort itself. 18 guys this year. Each year, it's going to be less and less and less.
As guys drop out, sure.
As guys drop, because these guys will, unless live, which has been the constant thing they've been trying to do, is find a way to pull off official world golf rankings. If they don't, a lot of these guys who are qualifying that way will just continue to drop off.
Mm.
You know, a lot of these guys who got their invitations because they were in the top 50, but eventually it would possibly weed itself down to just if live guys continue to be able to play in all the majors, it would just be major winners, you know, from the past X years,
right, and
past champs. Like
That's
a guy
it.
like Dustin Johnson will be invited every single year. He'll be there every single year.
Yep.
Bubba as well. But that list, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes from 18 to 5 or 6 in the coming years.
How many live guys are past champs? Sergio, Reed, Bubba,
Phil,
and DJ.
Yep.
I think that's pretty much it.
I think
It's a
that's
large number,
it
but
off the top of my head from the live roster.
Schwartzel.
Yeah.
Charles Schwartzel.
Right.
Wow.
So there you got 6, 7 guys who will always be there.
Yeah.
But beyond that, it may start to teeter out. But talking about whether they have something to prove, you know, there are definitely guys coming in with a little bit of chip on their shoulder. Even Cam Smith, who's not a big hype guy in any way.
Yep.
He even said, like, yeah, he admitted, like, we have motivation. It's a motivating factor for us to come and play well and want to win this thing. But what you were referencing earlier and talk about controversial, Greg Norman puts out this tweet basically saying that they're going to have a party on 18 if one of their own wins.
Yeah.
So here, in a way, we see like live banding together, things like that. How much do you believe this? That's the other question. If you have guys who get cut, you think they're sticking around the weekend just to see if one of their guys wins?
It's going to be tough because I thought, like, why would these guys stick around? You know, they know they're not wanted there. They missed the cut. They played terribly. They're angry. They're upset. I guess if the boss wants them there, the boss is going to.
I'll tell you though, right? There are certain guys that I think embrace and eat up the trolling role.
Totally.
Tell me you wouldn't expect to see if let's say Patrick Reed gets cut, doesn't make the weekend. You wouldn't expect to see him hanging around the grounds for the rest of the time. You know, they're going to be wearing live apparel,
gear, sure,
right? Their new deals that they're working on, their apparel deals, with his live hat on.
Yep.
You know, waiting for one of those guys to win, and then they want to have a big party on 18 when it happens.
Definitely going to help the ratings, man, for sure. I mean, because you're going to create that like that fight between the two, and I think if we see something like Rory v. Cam Smith on a Sunday, get the popcorn, man, because it's going to be electric. Like I'm looking for something like that just to ramp it up. Like I don't care who wins the Masters. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. Whoever wins. I mean, if I have to pick one guy, I'd pick Tiger because the world would blow up again.
Right.
Because how awesome was that, right? Yeah. But I'm telling you, if you see like a JT versus a live guy or a Rory versus a live guy, forget it. Sunday's going to be electric.
I couldn't agree more. And that'll be especially because I have to think that they're not going to pair these guys together in the early rounds.
I don't know.
You don't think? You think?
They're not going to keep
the ratings. You think, or
I think for ratings, I think you're going to see Reed and Rory. I think you're going to see that stuff.
It would go wild if it did.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It just depends. We have to speculate what's going on behind the scenes. How much these guys really care, or how much who's kind of in whose pocket, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, are guys like Rory and guys saying, hey, you know, they've got a little more of a line to whoever's making the pairings. They like, don't pair me with whoever. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Regardless, what I mean is that once it comes down to the play and where these guys are on the leaderboard, the pairing is going to happen. And
Yep.
even if they weren't paired up earlier, that's when the television sets are going to really start to pop on.
Sure.
Because everyone's like, hey, Rory's paired with, Dustin Johnson or Reed or something like that. Or Sergio was just having his whole tiff with they start to pair these guys together. I think it's the closest we're going to get to what everybody's been asking for, which is like a PGA Tour versus Live,
Yeah.
Ryder Cup style event. You're almost going to get it as it comes down the stretch.
Right. I mean, I don't even know how the pairings work for the Masters. I know for like the U.S. Open or even PGA Championship, they'll do like, 1 in the world, 2 in the world, 3 in the world, then 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know if it's that case for the Masters.
I don't know how they
I'm
do
unsure.
The so if
They'll be out
anybody
soon.
does know how they do the pairings for
let us
the
know.
early rounds, let us know in the comments and clarify that one. But I'm not sure. But regardless, like I said, where the scores fall is what's going to be the weekend pairings, and anything could happen.
Yeah.
Which is why another little controversial aspect of coming into this week was rumors had been flying around that the Live golfers were not going to get the same coverage, the same airtime. Effectively, when they're out there playing, you're just not going to see them on television. I find that a little bit hard to believe. I think that's a little bit, I can understand it, how some people might say that's the motivation of like saying, if let's say Augusta really didn't want them there, but also didn't want to stop them outright. They'd say like, I don't want their logos all over everything. We're not going to show them.
Listen, I'll tell you though that
I just don't believe it'll happen.
this is the opportunity for these Live guys to finally get TV time again, because they haven't been in about a year and a half.
Yeah.
They haven't been able to play in front of large crowds because they just haven't had the viewership. So now they're going to be in front of the largest crowd that golf is going to see in a long time. So they're back in the spotlight again. I'm curious to see how it translates in their game. Like I said, I think it's going to work for them. I think they're going to be fired up. I know they're fired up to get there. They're stoked that they're allowed to be there, and they're going to put those chests out like, we're here. We're here. So
there's no doubt about it. And that's why I don't believe the whole, like, they're going to be somehow, it's like a conspiracy theory that they're not going to be shown as much.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You hit the good shots, you play well, you're going to be shown. At the end of the day, it would work out to be a terrible broadcast. If you had a bunch of guys who are playing really well and you never see them.
You never see them. I was going to say, Masters, it's the classiest event on tour. They're not going to do it like that.
Yeah, and you know what? If you, at the end of the day, you want to definitely guarantee that you're going to be shown on television, make it to the final pairing on Sunday.
Just play well, and you'll be fine.
You're going to be playing.
I did, however, sniff a little bit of that TV coverage favoring the non-Live guys in that last DP World event when Rory went against Reed.
Yeah.
I watched like 2 rounds of that. Like, it was like over the weekend. And they barely showed the guys that were on top of the leaderboard from Live. They were forced to show Reed at the end because they had no choice. They were two.
Right,
they
you
were
had no
going up.
choice at that point.
But I was just like, where are these guys? I see on the leaderboard Reed's in second, Poulter's in fifth. Where are these guys? They're never showing them. And that's kind of where that whole thing happened, where it started the rumors.
Yeah, look, it remains to be seen. I would hope that they're going to give all the best golf the coverage.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what you show. I don't care who hit the shot. If it's a great shot, show it to me. Don't, talk out of both sides of your mouth and invite the guys, but then not show them.
Yeah.
Right. So they already committed to that they're going to invite them. I think that the guys have to be shown.
Yeah.
But I do find it interesting if there is a display, if one of the Live guys wins and there's a party on 18, as they're saying, that'd be very interesting.
With the champagne like they do at Live.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I don't know how much that would be a great look for them, or if it would be, a little bit more humble might be better. Like you think about Augusta and how that's presented. But regardless though, you get a Live guy winning, and then now they got to put the green jacket on him.
Scotty's got to put the jacket on.
Guys like Scotty, who are PGA Tour guys, I can't think it's going to be their favorite moment if he has to put that green jacket on.
You think he'll just hand it and not put him on it?
I think that
Scotty wouldn't do anything dirty.
They'll show up. They'll do the polite right thing. But
if Cam Smith wins, Scotty's not going to be happy.
No, he's anti-Cam.
Well, remember when he walked?
He walked through his line.
Yeah.
It's famous.
That's when everything was all heated. Yeah. Who knows?
It would be very interesting.
It's going to be a great Masters to watch.
It's going to be great. But I just wonder, like you said earlier, like if a bunch of the 18 guys do miss the cut, would they stick around for this party? I almost sometimes I wonder, like, if they've been so secretive about their contracts, how much does Liv own them? If Greg Norman says you're staying all 4 days whether you make the cut or not,
Yeah.
Do they have to?
Yeah. And this is the first time in a long time that live guys are going to have to answer to other tour media. So they're going into press conferences that aren't live press conferences.
Right.
They're getting in front of everyone now. These guys are going to be drilling them.
I can only hope one thing, though. Let's not make it the PGA Tour versus Live show.
Yeah, I hope it's not.
Well, you know it's going to be.
It's going to be
that.
because of people.
In a
love
lot of
ratings.
ways it is, but and I understand media outlets have to get that in there, but it's just, like I said, I look forward to this week so much for the pureness of it and the celebration of the game,
Yeah.
the celebration of Augusta, and celebration of the best golf. I'm okay with them using the opportunity to ask the questions. You're the media, it's like your responsibility. But if it gets to every single question is about Live and the PGA Tour and that, at some point, I'll be honest with you, I'm going to turn off those.
Yeah, it's
those
going to be
interviews
enough.
and
It's
stop
enough.
watching them.
I'll tell you what, though, who does all this Live drama kind of take the pressure off of? We're not talking about Tiger as much. Meanwhile, he's there. He's going to be there.
Right.
You know, pre-Live, we're like, Tiger's back. Like, we're going nuts.
Right.
We're still happy that he's back, but like now all this talk about Live.
And
Maybe Tiger will fly under the radar and win
I hate to even think what that would do for a guy like Tiger, who could be potentially playing in, as he's aging and the injury, one of his last competitive Masters. Like, I don't ever want to rule Tiger out.
Don't you
'cause
say that.
Well, he could shock us at any time, right?
Yeah,
but at his age, each time he's going to be, the chances are going to get tougher and tougher for him to win again, right?
Mhm.
And now, if again, in his press conference, if everybody just trying to pull that one-line statement out of him, what does he think about the Live guys being here? What is it?
He's going to be
got to
asked.
know that's what he's going to be asked over and over and over
Yeah.
again.
No, they got their answers already locked for that. They know what they're going to say.
They're going to have to. So it's going to be controversial, but it'll make for great ratings and, a little bit of great drama. Couple things that haven't changed with the Masters. The Masters app.
Masters app's the best.
It's the best. Why does every single major not? Maybe it's the money, but why do they not all have an app like that?
They
Some
all
of
have
the
an
other
app,
ones are
but
pretty
not-
good.
They're great. They're great. They're
Masters
good.
is just
just top-notch.
impeccable, and it made me think of it when you mentioned even the interviews, because they're all in there,
Yeah.
all the content.
Yep.
You could sort through it and see everybody. There's another place we'll be able to see though. Do you think the Live guys will have less in the app? Less of their shots.
I don't know.
Less of their interviews.
In app, I don't know.
It's a good question.
I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Do you guys think if a Live guy wins and they're all partying on the green, they're going to bring out the chain smokers like an actual Live event?
Like a real full blown concert. No, I mean, I honestly, like you said, Frank, I think they would keep it classy.
What's the old Happy Gilmore line? It's a golf tournament, not a rock.
Yeah, not a rock concert.
Whatever it
Go
was.
back to your shanties.
Oh, Shooter. Good old Shooter
Good old
McGavin.
Shooter. Oh man.
Well, let's talk about some of the other changes, the non-Live stuff here. The 13th hole, longer. The new tee box. Have you seen
Azalea.
it?
It's named. That's
Take
one
a
of
look
my
at this
favorite
tee
holes there.
box. I mean, talk about an
Yeah.
intimidating tee shot.
So in past years, guys would hit these high draws and just be perfectly placed to fly Rays Creek and get home in two, and it would leave a lot of eagle putts. So I think they moved it back 35 yards or so.
35 yards, which you might think not too long, especially when you think it's only a 545-yard par 5, which on tour, on paper, doesn't seem long.
Doesn't seem long, but it's enough to change your strategy.
Exactly. And the hope there is that it's going to be the guys who play the smartest golf and aren't so tempted, there's going to be guys who are going to be tempted to go for it,
Right.
and they're going to end up in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Really wet.
Yep.
Definitely. Versus guys who play that hole smarter. But that's why too, you can never rule a guy like Tiger out. Tiger plays that course smarter, more strategically than anybody's ever played it.
Definitely.
Ever played it. I saw an incredible breakdown. I think it was the Golf Digest YouTube channel had done on the 12th hole with that skinny green and just the way it positions. They said basically as you get to that Sunday pin back right, each time the landing area gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and it's just who has the mental willpower to stay away from it. And it was so cool.
Zone.
They showed Colin Morikawa's yardage book, and the whole right side of the green, he just shaded out and just wrote the word no big.
Yeah.
Just no matter what position is, no matter what's happened when you get to that hole, don't be tempted to go for it. And it was really cool too. They showed that was where we saw guys like Molinari, Brooks Koepka that year, Jordan Spieth fall apart, go into that right side pin. Tiger Woods, they overlaid all his shots. Tiger's never gone further right than center green on that hole.
He knows.
Ever.
My man knows.
He knows. And it's just like, and that's what I just love so much about Augusta is that the strategy, the course knowledge that comes down to it. And it's a course that, sure, we're going to all be talking about these extra 35 yards. But I'll tell you the truth. It's not that, and we got into this whole debate about the ball and the length. It's not those 35 yards that are going to win or lose this one.
It isn't, man. They did a lot of changes since I won it back in 18, by the way.
Right. People wonder where we got these jackets.
Yeah, so my 5-year exemption is now up because I haven't won anything since.
Well, you have a lifetime exemption.
Oh, that's right.
You got a green jacket.
I'm still not welcome
Doesn't
back,
even
though.
know. You'd be the guy who shows up at Augusta with that on.
You know.
And then,
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we have to talk about Gary Player. Right?
Yeah.
Here's a guy who is a past champ, but he's even saying he's got to beg a member when he wants to play.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting. Let's dive into that in a second. Let's do a quick word from our sponsors. Then we got to talk about this Gary Player controversy. All right, guys. So the hours have been put in, the work has been done. And as the moment approaches, you either fear it or you feel it. For Titleist, it's a moment filled with pure anticipation. It's the culmination of a relentless pursuit of speed in every single form. So step up and settle in with confidence. The Titleist TSR is here. The new TSR drivers, they take everything that made the TSI the #1 driver on tour, and they pack even more performance into every single head. From that new face technology to CG improvements and aerodynamic refinements, that's what really helps create that speed through the air. So when everything moves the needle, you're playing at Titleist speed. Now, guys, go to Titleist.com. Learn more about the TSR metals. Most importantly, schedule your fitting today. Coming from two guys who've both been fit for first the TSI, then the TSR drivers, we really learned that there's a lot of tech packed into that head. But when you match it up with the right fitting combination, that's where the magic really happens. So schedule your fitting this year. Titleist TSR, find your faster.
And there's a shoe to keep your eye out for at Augusta this week. It's that all-new Hyperflex and Hyperflex Carbon from FootJoy. They deliver hyper power, hyper control, and hyper fit for the elite tour caliber performance. I mean, these are seriously powerful but comfortable golf shoes. These are gamer shoes for players focused on maxing out their performance. They provide the foundation for hyper power, designed to provide you the best swing platform possible. They keep you in place for hyper control. And it's important because at FootJoy, I mean, they're always thinking about how to design a shoe that's going to help you play better. That's what they're all about. And they keep you dialed in with HyperFit because the shoe that doesn't fit, it actually reduces your power input, and that's a fact. So go check out the new Hyperflex and Hyperflex Carbon today at FootJoy.com. And I want to thank Tommy John. I want to talk about the 360 collection, favorite underwear by far. And we're going to tell you about this incredible deal we have in a second. They call it 360 because of the 360 stretch fabrics that prevent these underwear from riding up and giving you wedgies. Nobody wants that. I mean, they're designed for gym and all kinds of performance, whether you're jogging or playing golf or whatever you're doing. I mean, they're comfortable for everyday wear. They have those mesh cooling zones, the stay put waistband that won't roll, bunch, or pinch, the quick draw fly, horizontal fly for quick access when you're running behind a tree real quick out there and you got to do what you got to do. Loads of color options. They come in 4, 6, and 8-inch boxer brief inseams, and they size all the way up to 4XL. So here's that best deal out there. Use our code Golficity, that's GOLFICITY, and you'll get 25% off. That's right, 25% off your entire order at TommyJohn.com. You guys will not be disappointed.
Hey guys, we got a great deal from DraftKings for you this week. That's right, all eyes are on Augusta, Georgia for golf's first major, and you can join the action for a shot at winning big on DraftKings Sportsbook. This week, new customers will receive an odds boost to add plus 1,000 to any pre-tournament wager up to $10 on any golfer to win in Augusta.
So for example, if you're a new customer and you see a golfer win the tournament at plus 1,000 odds, DraftKings will boost that golfer to plus 2,000 odds for your shot at a bigger payout. And DraftKings will be featuring parlays and odds boosts all tournament long, so be sure to check the DraftKings Sportsbook app every day before the tournament starts to see what they have in store.
So this one's real easy. Just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code Golficity and boost your odds during golf's first major. That's code Golficity, only on DraftKings Sportsbook. And of course, last thing we want to mention here, guys, you know we've been long-time Rapsodo users. We've been using their launch monitors, their personal launch monitors for quite some time. And now we've been incredibly excited to see the new Rapsodo MLM2 Pro. But we're even more excited to announce that they are now sponsoring the podcast as well. And this is a match really made in heaven because we've been using the Rapsodo for so long. But if you haven't checked out the new MLM2 Pro yet, it's something that you're going to have to give a look to this year. We called it probably the hottest brand new launch monitor, made huge waves at the PGA show. And on top of that, they're so in demand, the pre-order sold out. So there is something behind all of that, and you'll see it when you get to really check it out. First of all, you've got the ability to measure spin, hyper accurate, measure your spin axis when you use the Rapsodo RPT balls with it, as well as we talk about from a game improvement standpoint. Now you have 3 ways you can film your swing using the MLM2 Pro. You've got your shot vision, your impact vision, which is really cool, slow motion, 240 frame per second, moment of impact that you get to see. Really tells you a lot about how you're impacting the ball, and you have your swing vision, and all of that is stored. If you've got the premium features, you can go back through all of your swing sessions, look at every single swing. Plus, on top of that, something that so many of us have been waiting for from this personal launch monitor is the ability to have simulation. You now have Rapsodo simulation with over 30,000 courses built in, and integration with third-party apps like Awesome Golf and even E6 coming soon.
That's right.
So if you're looking for something that you can finally build that affordable home golf simulator with, and you want something that you can also bring out there on the range, really make your range sessions mean more with all that data and those measured statistics that so many of us are after, this is something that you're going to want to take a look at. So make sure to sign up at rapsodo.com. You can be notified of availability. Demand is incredibly high, so make sure you check that out. And another good bit of news, the MLM1, the original mobile launch monitor that we've used for years now, is still available, and the price has dropped to $299. An incredible deal for a launch monitor. So whether it's the MLM1 or the MLM2 Pro, you guys got to check them out. Go to rapsodo.com. We'll be telling you guys more about it as we use it throughout the year as well, but we're really excited about this one. All right, let's get back to the show. All right, so let's jump back into talking here about Gary Player, because some statements came out and had a few of us shaking our heads a little bit. One of them was where Gary had ranked the Masters 4th on his list of majors. But part of that was this grievance that he's kind of airing with Augusta. What he had said was that, yes, when you win the Masters and you're a champion, you do have a membership to Augusta. But what he was indicating is that's not a full-fledged membership like an Augusta member would have. And he said that if he wants to, for example, if he wants to go out and play a practice round, and let's say he wants to bring some of his family or someone with him, he still has to have a member out there in his group. So what he's saying is that he has to beg a member to come out and play with him.
So he's salty.
Little salty.
A little bit.
Now, I don't know, Gary. We love you. We've had you on the show here.
Absolutely.
But one thing I will say is, I doubt Gary Player has to beg anybody.
Of course.
Gary makes a call to Augusta, and I'm sure there are a lot of members waiting to say, I'll take Gary out.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
I guess his complaint is that he can't go out there alone.
Got it.
And as a Masters champ, that seems a little bit unreasonable.
Yeah.
But
That's a
Augusta
tough one.
writes their own rule book.
They do write their own rule
I
book.
mean, I wonder if a part of the allure to the Masters is exactly that.
Yeah, I mean, but what would you consider a membership? Like, should he have a locker? Should he have dues? I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no
Right.
food and beverage minimum every month? Like, what does membership mean? Because these guys, obviously, like Gary Player is a great example. He doesn't live in Georgia. He'll probably only, if he's going to use it, maybe once or twice a year. So why wouldn't they just let them all come out? Past champs. You know, it's not like flooded. They're not flooding the membership or anything.
No, and you would think, if anything, it's only just good for Augusta to have that caliber of golfers around the grounds. But something definitely scratched him the wrong way, because some of these quotes he even said, he said that without the players attending the Masters, he said it would just be another golf course in Georgia. That's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
He's really.
Now I know his son was
leaning
banned
in.
from Augusta because of his like shameless plug that year of those golf balls. But didn't he kind of disown his son because of that? Like he's not salty because of that.
I don't believe
Or
he is.
some people are saying that he might be
Some people are saying that he is, but he has had his own internal strife, I know,
with his son.
son.
Yeah,
And I don't
Stealing
think there was
memorabilia and
many
all stuff.
people who didn't side with Augusta on that one. But it was a blatant advertisement
right.
that he was using that
Right.
moment for. But it's still shocking to hear some of this coming from Gary Player. Another quote he had here, he said, but never mind the Masters. The Open is by far the greatest tournament on the planet. I rate the Open at 1, the U.S. Open at 2, the PGA at 3, and Augusta at 4. 4 marvelous tournaments. He says the Masters is the youngest of the majors. The others are steeped in tradition and history, and they still have to catch up. Nothing comes to the top without time.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, I
like
don't know.
where you really lost me there is when you put the PGA ahead of the Masters.
Yeah,
And also,
especially for a non-U.S. citizen.
and we're
Like,
not
you know?
talking about the Masters, which kicked off in 2012. No, the Masters has a long history.
And he's got 3 Met jackets.
He does. He does.
They gotta cancel his honorary tee shot or whatever.
Well, let's see if he takes it this year. I'm curious if he even shows up to take it. Is he that salty? Is he bitter? Is he going to be there? Is he going to the Champions dinner? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Who knows?
They can't have him back after he's flaming them in the media.
Yeah.
They can't possibly let him back on the grounds. I would
Well,
be
they
like,
can't.
bro,
They're not
no
keeping him
thanks.
away. He's a past champ. He'll be there no matter what. But
Yeah, but didn't Phil that one year get the
They
letter from
cla-
Augusta saying that he wasn't, not that he wasn't welcome, but just that it was
they
probably a good idea.
clarified.
That,
They said specifically Phil was not told that he wasn't allowed to be there.
all right.
So I don't think they're ever going to tell him that. What I will say is that you might see a shakeup in the honorary tee shots,
Yep.
because that's a very revered moment that was like paying homage to the tournament. It's tough to be there doing that after making statements.
They should
strong.
add, I don't want to say make that honorary tee shot younger, because you can't just kick Jack to the curb. But I'm saying they could start considering their next wave of honorary tee shots. Faldo, other retired winners, Norman. No, they wouldn't have Norman.
Greg Norman.
Norman never
Norman
won.
never won.
It's a
That's right.
whole other. Yeah,
Norman
that's a
never
whole
won.
other problem.
I just want to see your reaction over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, regardless,
Who would you guys choose?
They have to be retired. Like you can't have like Tiger now
can
because he's still
Tiger
playing.
do it
So like,
and play?
I mean, can you? If you can, then
No, you can't, 'cause
100%.
that would be his tee shot, right, or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense.
So it's got to be retired guys. I think you got to put Faldo in there because he's won so many. He's retired. He'd be the perfect guy to go. I just don't know who else I'd add.
Well, here's the thing. No matter what
Watson?
it is, it's like something
I think Watson's in there now.
caused player to just want to take the Masters down a peg.
Yep.
You could tell like he's just like that seems to be the vibe of all this.
Mm-hmm.
Basically saying like, as a past champion, 3-time champ, I shouldn't have to, as he says, beg a member to go out if I just want to play a practice round. I don't know. I don't know. His idea was like that it's not the most welcoming place. It could be a lot more welcoming.
Yeah.
And in a way, like I understand that, but part of the allure has always been that it is not the most accessible place.
Yeah, it's not. I'm sorry. I was still looking at potential honorary starters. Couples. Going couples.
Freddie?
But he's
Boom,
still
boom.
playing though.
Not on the PGA Tour.
Nobody's still playing the Masters.
Is he still playing?
Is he in the field?
I thought he was.
He almost always is. I just
he
don't
almost
know
is.
if he's at this
He
point.
was there
I
today
think-
hitting shots with Tiger.
So he's in the field.
He's probably in the field.
Yeah, he's in the field.
He'll keep going.
Freddie
for a while.
Boom Boom ain't leaving until he can't swing anymore. That's for sure.
which may be never because he swings so,
So
smooth.
smooth. Yeah.
Anyway, so that was, like I said, that was kind of like the big other controversy beyond the whole live thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's all going to start. What I'm most excited for is the Champions Dinner because we're going to get some stories.
Are we though?
I gotta
or it's
think.
gonna be tight-lipped.
You think?
I think the live guys like.
I think the live guys have nothing to
Phil's letting
lose.
that fly.
They got nothing to lose. Is the Champions Dinner the Wednesday? Is the Tuesday night before? I'm looking at you. You're shaking your head.
Regardless, though, how would we know?
Tweets.
Unless, like I said, unless these
Pictures.
guys are in there throwing haymakers and
I'm
they
saying-
come out with a
But
black
I
eye.
also think
How would we know?
Excuse me, Patrick. Where'd you get that black eye?
Right.
I also think that like the first question that's going to be asked of Phil,
But I
of
think-
Pat Reed is going to be like, "So how was the dinner?"
I think,
was there
but the
any
press conferences, I
awkwardness?"
think at that point, that's why I'm asking when it is. I think they're all done. I think all the press conferences are Tuesday, Wednesday, and the dinner's Wednesday night.
So
No,
you're saying that
is it
there's
the night
nothing
before-
before they go out on their first round, or
No, the
after
press
their
will
first
catch them at
round?
some
Like, come
point.
on.
Yes, the press will catch them. And you are right. They will ask how the Champions Dinner went.
I think it's
But what I mean, what I say, what are they
April
gonna say?
4th, tomorrow. No, it's Tuesday night. So Wednesday press conferences, they're
How
going to
was
ask
the dinner
about it.
last night?
How was the
How's
dinner
dinner?
last night? How was the vibe in the room with Liv and other guys? And I'm sure that most guys are just going to be like, everything was fine.
Yeah,
But I want that one guy who's going to be like, yeah, at times there was a little bit of a
right.
stank guy from Jack.
You might get a guy who say like, I didn't necessarily feel that welcome there.
well,
Yeah.
didn't the live guys not get invited to the PGA Champions Dinner, or were they invited to that? I can't remember.
I don't know.
I'm not even aware of it.
But if they start doing funny jokes at the table, like, when you unscrew the salt.
right.
You know what I mean?
That's what they really need to do. Unscrew. Yeah, get the. Oh my god. Let the parodies begin.
Let the
Because you will
parodies
see
begin.
them on Instagram.
But
that
you
goes
see
without
all
saying.
this list of like, it gives us something to laugh and joke about. I mean, it's entertaining for us in a way. I mean,
Right.
we're not pro live, against live. We're not pro tour, against. We're just pro golf.
I think yeah.
So we
it's
just love all the storylines.
Right.
That's it.
I enjoy the drama so long as the drama stays pretty surface.
That's it.
I think when it starts to get a little bit heated and hatred and like, you know what I mean? It gives me a icky feeling with it. And I'm like, the game doesn't need
Right.
that.
Like the show The
A
Bachelor.
little bit of a
wouldn't
funny
be,
like ribbing and
Yeah,
like
ribbing.
unscrewing the salt.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. But if you get to the point where it's like if guys start throwing haymakers at the Champions Dinner, I think
Yeah.
we've got to all reevaluate where we are in the world.
Totally.
Because
Totally.
that just shouldn't be.
I'm telling you, man,
the Champions Dinner was always there to celebrate the guys who had reached that pinnacle. Of
Right.
the
It has an
game.
important meaning, that dinner, and it shouldn't be about the fighting.
Who,
So.
who's winning that fight? If it does come to fisticuffs, which side's coming out on top?
I honestly have to say Liv, because they're a little bit younger. Like, I can't see like a Sandy Lyle throwing some haymakers against Dustin Johnson. Jack stepping in there.
Dustin Johnson's got
Tiger's
the reach.
injured most of the time. I can't see him fighting anyone. So I don't know.
Sergio's probably pretty fiery.
Sergio could be fiery.
Now we've completely lost.
We've lost.
We've
we're
lost
we're
it.
going up stupid.
Let's do this before we wrap the show up. Zach's got a fun little thing we're going to do. We're going to
Yes.
do our own little draft,
Okay.
right? So what do you want? Do you want to do a snake draft?
Yeah, I think we do a snake draft, and
We're gonna.
I have a certain number of points for top 30, top 20, top 15,
Okay.
top 10, top 5.
And we'll
so
have a
in the
winner
next
next week.
episode, you'll report back who won.
I will. Yep.
Yeah,
Got
we're
it.
going to see who the champ is. All right. So how are we going to do this, and who's going to pick first? Because that's the most important pick, right?
That is
Should we rock paper scissors for it?
Can you do
three-way rock paper scissors.
Yeah, we can do that.
the process of a limb?
Yeah.
How about we just go alphabetical?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Alphabetical by last name. Who goes next?
Who's the same last name? Of course, I suggested it, guys. It's a F. I got you both beat.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You
you
can't take my suggestion.
Go ahead.
It's
Okay,
Z.
I like the third pick anyway, because then I get third and
Oh,
You get
do
third and
like the
fourth.
third
It's smart.
pick.
All right, so let's go Frank first.
Fine.
Do
I'm
we
going
have
to take
to
Scotty Scheffler. Let's go.
Stop it. And
Scotty's going to repeat, boys. I got news for you.
Yeah, I think
Scotty's going to put his own jacket on.
I think he's got the best chance of winning this week without question. I just want to look at the field. I know who's in it, but I just want to see who's next. Zach, you're getting ready here?
I'm ready.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm torn between Rahm and Rory, but I got to feel like all eyes on Rory. I'm going to go with Rory.
I like Rory.
Alrighty, so
Let's see what your 3 and 4
I'm gonna
are.
go John Rahm, Cam Smith.
Wow.
Oh, you got to pick them all?
No, he gets 2 on a snake draft. So
Oh.
he gets the third and then the fourth. Now it's back to me.
Got
Then to
it.
you.
Got it.
I really, really love the way that Spieth is playing as of late, and I know this is a place that he kind of calls home. I'm going to go with Spieth.
I did read an article recently that basically broke down all the numbers and said mathematically Spieth has the highest likelihood of winning this week.
Yeah.
Can't tell you where the article's from or
I'll take that.
the numbers behind it, but that's what I read.
Okay.
I'm taking it. Oh, DJ's still available. Jason Day's still available. Homa.
Guys
Cam
jumping up and
Young.
down because Jason Day's available.
What?
I love Jason Day, but he just like turned it around and made it back in.
Patrick Cantlay's still available. I'm just telling you who's out there. Morikawa.
Morikawa is a pretty good
JT.
pick.
Xander. Come on, Frank. You got this.
I
might go Xander. I don't know.
I wonder if I want Fitzpatrick.
Good pick.
Matt Fitz.
Good pick.
Now that what he did last year at the U.S. Open, and since he's lengthened his game, I kind of like Fitzpatrick. I'm going to put Matt Fitzpatrick on my little roster.
Okay.
All right, now pick your third.
Now pick your...
Oh, I get to get my third as
you're
well.
Snake now.
Okay. Let's see here.
I like your lineup so far. You got Scotty.
I think I'm going to take Max Homa.
So Scotty, Homa, and Fitz?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to round out my roster. It was between JT and Xander. I got to be honest. JT loves Augusta. I know it for a fact. I spoke to him the other day. I'm going JT.
All righty.
None of us took Tiger Woods.
No.
Homa's not available, right?
Nope.
I took Homa.
DJ is.
Yeah, but then I'm picking two live guys.
Nothing wrong with it. They're both gamers.
Yeah, I think.
I'm surprised you didn't grab like a sleeper, like a
Yeah, I think I might go sleeper.
Corey Connors, or like a
I'm
Zalatoris.
going sleeper Cam Young.
Cam
Love
Young.
that
Yeah,
pick.
that's a good
I'm going
pick.
two Cams. I think my Cams are gonna bring me to the top here.
Yeah.
My two Cams, and I forget who my third pick was. Who's my other?
You had Cam Smith, Cam Young, and John Rahm.
There we go.
John Rahm, who, by the way, I had one of my top picks for the Masters like 2 months ago. And it just shows you how long he's been staying hot because he's up. You know what I mean? He's up there on DraftKings. I think he's like, what, number 2?
Rahm?
Number 3, Rahm?
Yeah.
Something
easily,
like that.
Easily.
Throw
Either
a couple
way-
bucks on Sandy Lyle. I think he's plus 100,000 to win, and it is his 101st major appearance. So, throw a couple bones on him. He's a total long shot.
Consider
but if
it
he
a
does
donation.
It's also his 101st birthday.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I don't know if that's money out the door, but
And with that, we're gonna
Love
wrap
you,
up this
Sandy.
week's show. Let us know your picks in the comments below, and definitely weigh in on everything we had here. Like I said, I think undoubtedly it's going to be a very controversial major this year, Masters this year, but I think it'll also bring a lot of eyeballs. Whether it's good, bad for the game, we can all debate that in the comments. So hop in there, let us know. Happy Masters Week. Enjoy it. We'll see you next week.